Goeiedag. Good day, fellow South Africans from a warmish Brisbane. Now, what is so fascinating about the gas find south of the Cape in the sea is one Cyril Ramaphosa's involvement in that particular venture. And it's a huge involvement. And it all comes back to Arab. Remember Arab? I'll put their website link down below and you'll notice that it's been pulled off the internet. Arab is the biggest green or renewable energy company in South Africa. Why would you pull your website off the internet for days in a row? Only if you've got something to hide. And in my earlier video, I actually explained what they do have to hide. And it's all tied up with what we're talking about here. It's all about the gas. Because Ramaphosa is hugely involved in this project called Brulpadda. I don't know, it's a crazy name, but Burlpadda. More information is coming out about Brulpadda. Total, which is an overseas company who's been given the rights to actually exploit this gas field, obviously paying backhanders and stuff like that to people who are connected, like CR. Total has discovered a potential 1 billion barrels of what they call wet gas off the coast of South Africa. The gas could be used as petrol or perhaps even converted into electricity, according to one expert. The Brulpadda find should mean more tax revenue and a stronger rand. Now, getting back to the point, the gas could be used as petrol or even perhaps be converted into electricity. Arab.co.za, the website that's been pulled down, in the About Us comments said, "We are looking at renewable energy options, including gas." Now, guess where the gas is going to come from? Cyril Ramaphosa, because he is so closely aligned with family members who run Arab. You know, it is just the corruption is just so blatant, it's just ridiculous. But you know, in South Africa, they go after the small guy, but if you're a politician or you're a Zuma or you know one of those Indian guys who just suddenly had their charges withdrawn, you know, the whole legal system in South Africa is corrupt. It is completely effed. Anyway, reading on about this gas find. They tried to drill the block in 2014, but gave up after rough weather wreaked havoc on its equipment. This time Total drilled in December and used a more specialized rig which could cope with strong currents. Total struck 57 meters of gas, 3,600 meters deep, and now predicts that the field could yield up to 1 billion barrels of gas. What has been found? A gas concentrate. Basically, this is a wet gas that contains a small amount of oil. What will it be used for? The gas will be used to convert into petrol at PetroSA's gas-to-fuel refinery in Mossel Bay. But Neil Kramer, CEO of the South African Oil and Gas Alliance, or SAOGA, says it will be too early to jump to conclusions on the final use for the gas. For example, instead of petroleum, this is like the honorable. For example, instead of petroleum, the gas could be converted into electricity. Joining the dots between one Cyril Ramaphosa and Arab. Remember, Eskom is on the ropes, and It's quite extraordinary what's happening behind the scenes. Okay, how big is this find? To put it in context, last year's Exxon Mobil discovered a total of 895 million barrels in wells across the world. It was the most successful explorer worldwide. In the single discovery in South Africa, Total's find is 1 billion barrels and trumps that. According to some estimates, Total's Brulpadda find is 3 to 5 times bigger than all the gas finds so far in South Africa put together. More than 300 offshore wells have been drilled in South Africa over the past decades, but only in relatively shallow seas. Total's Brulpadda find was South Africa's first deep-sea well. Total may now drill another 4 wells in Brulpadda. The American oil giant Exxon Mobil and the Italian group Eni SBI also hold stakes in fields close to Total's block. They could also be energized and decide to explore now that Total has struck gas, says Kramer. Who will benefit from the find? Now this is where the Ramaphosa factor comes in, okay? Total owns 45% of the Brulpadda licensing rights, followed by Qatar Petroleum, 25%, Canadian Natural Resources, 20%, and Main Street, 10%. MTN chairman Futuma Nhleko is the only South African director of Main Street and owns up to 51% of the company. The rest of Main Street is held by the Canadian company Africa Energy. Now, Futuma Nhleko is very, very closely in bed with one Cyril Ramaphosa, as you saw from my earlier video. So a huge beneficiary of this find is going to be the President of South Africa. This is all going on behind the scenes, guys. It's just covered up, but it's all going on behind the scenes. The only other South African connection is through HCI, which owns ETV. HCI indirectly owns a stake in a UK company called Impact Oil and Gas, which has supplied financing to Nhleko's company, who invested in Main Street. And the source of that money is a huge issue. I've talked about PIC, which is a huge pension fund that Ramaphosa's group have got their hooks into, and they're sucking money out of it, left, right, and center, to support their projects. You know, the whole system in South Africa is so corrupted now, it is extraordinary. Zuma looks like an amateur. And good old Julius Malema looks like a little Tokolosh on the side. He's got a long way to go before he gets up to this level of corruption. Long, long way. So how will this affect South Africans? Firstly, government will earn more tax. Well, guess what? I doubt they will, because Ramaphosa is involved and the ANC are involved, and those taxes will be kind of shifted around and moved, and you know, they don't give a stuff about the people in South Africa. That's rule number one. Total and its partners will pay the regular 28% corporate tax on all taxable income from Brulpadda. According to the most optimistic estimates, Brulpadda find could yield $1 trillion for Total and its partners, which will mean a massive tax windfall. When I see it, I believe it, because I know how these arseholes work. In addition, oil and gas companies have to pay a royalty of approximately 5% on all gross sales of all oil and gas produced in South Africa. Also, it is common internationally for the state to be entitled to participate. I'll start again. Also, it is common internationally for the state to be entitled to participate directly in any production operation through partnership with the producer. The extent of the state's entitlement will be determined by the licensing terms and the new legislation, says Gregory Knott, director of the law firm Norton Rose Fulbright. Now, you know, I can go on and on about this, but you can see what is going on behind the scenes. Ramaphosa has got some very astute people working for him in the background, and he is cleaning up. He's grabbing all the assets he can while he's in power. Please remember to subscribe to be kept informed, and have a great day. Bye for now.